Hey, Matt.
Yo,
What is good?
nada.
That is true.
Yeah, another week,
Another week, another time, another Friday.
another episode
Of?
Gamers 2 podcast, brought to you by the friendly folks at this place.
Rifnall.
Brought to you by Illegal Designer Drugs.
Called the Roofies. Anyway,
I take them for a good time.
I take them, so I hope I get laid.
Anyways,
It's been a fun time. What are we doing? I know we said Gamers 2 podcast.
we're doing a podcast. This is a little E3 in review. It's
yeah,
going to be a little
it's-
different this week. You may notice. Usually in the past, it's a tad bit, I don't want to say scripted, but the news is scripted roughly. We didn't do that this week simply because there's too much out of
Yes.
E3. So it's a little bit off the seat of the pants. Wing it. Remember shit off the top of our head based on small cliff notes.
Make opinions that we have no right to make.
That is it right there.
We will do the same stuff. I will ask Matt what he's done. He'll tell me nothing. We'll get through that one.
Yep.
We'll do new releases, which there actually are some during the week of E3. And then we'll walk through every conference and just hit buzz points. And then if you want more info on anything you hear, go find it. You're not going to get it from us, but like deep dives are on every other.
Unless you ask politely.
That's true.
Or-
Every other news journalistic area is going to have deep dives from all the stuff they played on the floor, and influencers on YouTube are going to have gameplay stuff going above some of the games anyway. So that's your warning. You've had it. And now I will ask Matt. So what have you been up to?
Not playing video games.
Oh,
well,
hey.
I was playing, Lego Harry Potter, putting in my time for the fiance's
Harry Potter obsession?
Harry Potter obsession, addiction, something. Might be an intervention soon.
Good luck.
Yeah. Other than that, just chugging away, watching some YouTube every once in a while, all the time.
Yeah.
It's a problem. I
It
need to
is.
stop watching it. And then, a little PBS documentary on the Vikings. Really interesting. Interesting
Okay.
people.
All right.
And
Techno Viking?
he is a Viking.
He is.
Techno Viking. Maybe the greatest Viking.
Legends will tell in due time of the Techno Viking.
Other than that, that's it. That is it. Doing the old, watching old anime, Gundam nonsense.
Oh, of course. Wouldn't expect any less from you, I guess. Or more at the same time.
Started watching The King's Speech the other day. Never finished it. It's a good movie though. I just was like, watch this for 5 minutes. And then
I don't know if that's a good thing.
I don't know. It's a good movie, but not everyone's cup of tea.
That's true.
So what have you been doing?
My same as well. Playing MLB The Show. Playing some World of Warcraft. I beat High Held today.
Congratulations.
Wasn't that long. Or necessarily hard. It's one that's meant to be like speed run situation. Because you have a timer that inflicts your score and stuff like that. There's only like 20 levels, I think. So it's not that bad. I've been reading Before the Storm, the new World of Warcraft book, because now I am committed.
Super mega nerd.
Super mega ultra crap nerd.
Wearing loafers.
Wearing loafers. And then I've been watching baseball, and I watched all of E3 except for Nintendo. But I watched it later.
How about them Yankees?
How about them Yankees?
I don't know if that's relevant, but
They're playing right now. It's not on, but they are playing right now, and they've been doing good. Been doing a lot of fun. A lot of young kids moving right along, doing good stuff, doing the Lord's work.
exciting week.
Yeah,
for us.
it's a great time. Great time. A lot of busy. Between E3 and, that was our weekend. Last weekend was E3, and then a little bit of work. I got a shiner. I got a black eye during volleyball. So
He does have a black eye. Did catch me off guard. Didn't notice it till we were indoors.
yeah, so I've got a black eye from that.
It's a very good look. Might
tonight-
punch him in the eye every week.
Tonight was tuna casserole night for us.
With celery.
Courtesy of me. And some other things, celery, onion,
Yeah.
bacon, more cheese, breadcrumbs. I mean, I'm modified a recipe a little bit. But, yeah. So now let's get into the fun stuff. We're going to get right to the new releases, and then we have a lot to get through.
Ugh.
New releases. Unravel 2.
Available right now.
Right now. PS4, Xbox, and PC. Prey Moon Crash DLC. Also out now. Fallout Shelter for the PS4 and Switch. Also out now.
That's out on PC too, right?
Yep, it's been out on PC. Yep. Fortnite for the Switch. Hollow Knight for the Switch. Jurassic World Evolution. PS4, Xbox, and PC. Paladins for the Switch. Super Bomberman R for PS4, Xbox, and PC. Tennis World Tour for the PC and Switch. Balloons Tower Defense 5 for the Switch.
Tower Defense.
Now, I've talked about, I can't remember if it was you that wanted a tower defense game or somebody that I was talking to, like, man, I really love tower defense games. Balloons is the one that I always talk about because I played it in browser style years ago. I think that one costs money, and there's also one on the App Store right now, or like on the Android Play Store. That was Balloons Tower Defense 6 that cost $5, and I almost did it, and I was like, I can't, but I wanted to. I enjoy their tower defense games. Fun. Simple and fun.
I love Tower Defense games, but like I have one on the PS4, but I never finished it. Like it just, it's I don't know. It's I feel like it would. I need to find them on my cell phone, so I can just chug away when I got a couple spare minutes.
Oh, that one's $5, and I probably suggest it.
$5 hairs.
$5, $4.99. Number 11 of new releases is, now you're gonna have to help me. You might not know this game, but I do.
I don't.
I think it's more Hoon remake. It is a game not unlike Duck Hunt, but with chickens. It's really like
You're shooting chickens.
or turkeys, and it's exactly what it is. I've played it on my PC probably back in the early 2000s. Like I remember, probably Dad and I playing it, and it was remade for Switch. So cool. Splatoon 2 Octo Expansion, Lego The Incredibles for PS4, Xbox, PC, and Switch, and Omega Strike for the Xbox. So some of that's going to get repeated here, but only a couple. So let's get right into it. E3 recap. We're going to start with the first conference. We're going to go in order of conferences. So first conference was EA. And I'll tell you what. I'll just go through. You spit at me when you know more than it says.
Okay.
All right. So the first thing they show off is Battlefield Battlefield Fries. No.
Ooh, that sounds delicious.
Battlefield 5 was shown, and it had War Stories, the campaign mode there, and they did confirm the mentioning of a Battle Royale mode.
I watched a little bit of gameplay, like just raw gameplay footage, which was really nice. Change of pace compared to everyone's like
Every
freaking yakking over all the edited photo and stuff like that. It like if you would have said it was Battlefield 1, you probably could get away with it. It looks like Battlefield 1 with like heavy refinement, I guess would be the best way. Like the classes play quicker, smoother, make more sense. The raw footage that I watched was from the Grand Operations, which was really cool because they do straight up airborne drop in with parachutes.
Okay,
it looks
cool.
Fucking dope. But that's about it for my what I saw on Battlefield 5, because that's one of those ones where I'm just gonna get it because I liked 1 so much, and they're obviously following in the same footsteps. So
Yeah. I mean, World War II is technically a spiritual successor to World War I. Am I right?
Historically accurate with those, mechanical arms.
Exactly. Speaking of which, let's cut to a couple things. I'm going to keep going through our list, but this is the year of mechanical arms. I will agree with you.
Yeah.
A lot of the trailers had just a mechanical or non-human arm in them for some reason.
So
it was
weird.
really a weird thing.
Some weird like zeitgeist going on there.
And then I don't really know if there was if there was really another theme to this E3 overarching, but that was just something that was fun.
I was obviously I was expecting the Battle Royale theme. Didn't really show up.
Yeah, not
which was weird.
Not in any abusive capacity.
Yeah.
Like it was there, but it was not shoved down your throats.
Yeah, like
at
every
all.
second.
Then they moved on from Battlefield 5. They announced that FIFA gets the Champions League license from PES. Okay, we knew that. Don't know if you needed. Like, the thing with EA's conference as a whole is they've never surprised us. Like, they just don't do surprises, and if they do, they're minimal. And this is one of those things where this could have just been a news article and we were done.
The funny thing about the E3 press conference to me, after looking at it after looking at gameplay of the games afterwards, is speaking of the games that I'm interested in, so like not the sports games, but like Battlefield 5 and Anthem, they somehow successfully made the games look worse than they actually seem to be.
Right.
So they doing a good job, EA.
Yeah.
Keep up the good work.
We moved on from FIFA. They also talked about the World Cup update that came out last month. We move into them discussing game streaming. And they also announced Origin Access Premier, which is an elevated version of what Origin Access is now. Premier will cost you $100 a year or $14.99 a month. And it's very similar to the way Xbox Game Pass works. It's going to launch later this summer, and it's going to have all of the stuff coming day and date with it. So you'll get the Madden 19 when it comes out, and Madden is coming back to PC. That's another announcement they made. FIFA when it comes out on PC, Battlefield 5 when it comes out, whatever else.
I still can't believe that those could that business model could be profitable.
Well, when you think about it, and you say $14.99 a month. I mean, that's what WoW is.
Yeah, true.
And they kill it.
Yeah.
So
I think that's the game streaming thing was kind of like the subtle secondary theme of E3. Like there was kind of like in the background the whole time. A couple developers or a couple publishers mentioned game streaming, and then like there was way more always online games, way more games as a service.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely like creeping in there.
So I mean, a cool thing, cool to get the rather than because Origin Access now is all the stuff of like years past and nothing that's current. Like,
I kind of see it almost as a, I mean, the publishers aren't going to look at it this way, but it's kind of like a good compromise between the microtransaction idea, the pay to win microtransaction loot boxes, and you know them not making the income they want to make. Like I'm okay. Like I kind of like this idea of monthly subscriptions, and then you get access to all the games you want to get access to. Like if they can make it work and not also try to kill you with microtransactions and other fees, then they might be onto something. It's
also their
like the Netflix business model where they can push out original content, but still
right. It's also their way inadvertently of taking jabs at third party sellers, GameStop, GameFly.
Mm-hmm.
Why pay GameFly $15 a month if you can just pay EA $15 a month and play whatever you want and not have to be limited to the one game or whatever?
Yeah.
And then GameStop, okay, you paid $60 for that game and we're done with it in 2 weeks, or you can pay $15 for the entire month, beat that game in 2 weeks, and then just be done with it.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting choice, but one that I welcome because it doesn't get in the way. They haven't said, like, this is the only way to play our games, so it's not bad. Then Vince Zampella was in the crowd from Respawn talks about their Star Wars games, says that they have quite a few projects in the works, but the one that they're willing to talk about a little bit, very, very little bit, is I believe their RPG called Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, expected to come out holiday 2019, and it's supposed to take place between Episode 3 and Episode 4 when the Jedis are being hunted.
I did not like this way. I don't know. I didn't like the announcement, and I didn't like the way they did it. There was there was just no reason to do it, really. Because now there's like a ton of everyone's got all these questions and they want all these answers, and they're all these like rumors and speculation, and literally all the dude said was, we're making a game, it's called this, it takes place in this time period, and that's literally all he said.
And then gave a release date.
Yeah, which was bizarre in itself, and then the date is bizarre. So like, if they're announcing it in this way, then obviously the game isn't like.
Well, there's two things. The game isn't anywhere because they can't show anything. You're telling me it's out in a year and a half, and you also know that means, you would assume that means that they're not making Battlefront 3.
So
because that would be Battlefront's year, and why would you release the RPG with that unless you had the RPG and then had that as your main focus and put the multiplayer as a side thing? Because Respawn's done multiplayer. They had Titanfall, which was initially multiplayer, then campaign plus multiplayer. So, I mean, it's possible they focus campaign and then do multiplayer. But
the only thing I can imagine or think that might be the case is they're taking all the assets and everything that they have from the canceled Star Wars games of the past couple years and trying to piece it together into a coherent project, which would be like, I can't imagine that turning out well.
No, because you've had how many different hands in that pot?
3,
yeah,
I think.
So then we go on to continue more about Star Wars and Battlefront 2. They talk that they're going into the Clone Wars and they're adding more heroes. Obi-Wan, Grievous, I think Dooku was in there.
Mm-hmm.
They talk a little bit about the going to Geonosis, and it's like, and then basically it ends with, "We understand we fucked up. Sorry." Like that's the end. That's just the end of the guy being there.
We'll do better.
Then we go to the indie side of things. Unraveled 2. It's Unraveled, right? I just wrote this not in the past tense for some reason.
I think it's Unravel. I think.
Anyway, so Unraveled 2. I'm gonna
look it up while you keep talking.
I'm gonna go with Unraveled 2, out now. Good old what apparently is called the Shadow Drop.
I hate that.
I hate that name. I prefer Ninja Release.
It is Unravel.
Okay, so I am
Unravel too.
What was the first one?
Unravel.
Huh. I don't know where I got Unraveled from. Anyway, Yarny 2 is out now.
I thought it was called Yarny as well. Like
I've always called it Yarny, knowing better, but it's the name of the character. Because they always, when they debuted the first one, all they talked about was fucking Yarny and that dumb plush that person had or whatever. Anyway, Unraveled 2, out now. Co-op, if you want to play it co-op, which I thought was an interesting thing with the puzzle solving stuff that they showed off. The playing of the game went on for too long, I think. But, whatever. Or you can play it solo, which then really looks weird because you take 2 different color yarns and like mesh them together because you absorb the other player.
I thought that was a cool mechanic, though. Cool idea for a mechanic. And when I first saw that, the first thing I thought of was playing with Samantha, because like when we play Legos, for example, like the reason why I play with her is because like she's not a gamer, so she has issues at certain points with usually the things that require like precision jumping or like going through rings or something like that. In that, I could see using that mechanic in those situations where she just can't do something. So I can, just basically carry her through it. I looked this up. I looked up Unravel 2 out of curiosity on how long to beat.
6 hours.
There's only... I would guess that's accurate, but there's only one... There's only one person who's logged time on it, and they said it's 3.5 hours.
Okay. Still, I think that's about right for what one was around there. It wasn't long, but
one showed, I think, for a completionist playthrough 11.5 hours, and
getting everything. So I believe that. Yeah,
maybe I think it was like
there are like
6 to 7 hours for a regular playthrough.
Because there are like those little challenge orbs and shit that you can get. They talked about the guys that made A Way Out are going to be making another game. Cool, but I mean, cool that they're able to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously, that game did well when it came out, and they're going to make something who knows what next. And then they announced Sea of Solitude from their new indie dev, whose name I don't remember. It's a game about being alone, I believe.
I guess when
he
being
felt
alone and
lonely,
dealing with those like a battle with basically like loneliness and depression, I guess.
Yeah, looked weird. I mean, looked good, but scary. Like it was a horror type game. So I mean,
like creepy.
Creepy.
Like I guess you call them monsters. Or whatever.
We'll see how that goes. Then we go back to sports. Their 2019 NBA Live trailer shows up. They're focusing on the one like crew thing. I don't know. It
was a Streets game. It was like NBA Streets kind of.
It was that, but it was NBA Live. It was just a mode within that. And it was like, yeah. I was talking with Kenny about it. He's like, I watched some gameplay of it later, and the game looks better than last year, but that trailer looked bad. Like, animation-wise and stuff, I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, God, no. They went backwards. This isn't good. So, apparently gameplay looks better, though. So, that's an upside. And then they had Juju Smith-Schuster and the Madden World Champion come out on stage and talk about nothing, and then showed cinematic cuts from in-game Madden stuff. No gameplay, no like discussion of anything else. And I was just like, all right, Madden's happening. Which I guess technically they really don't need to tell you anything until they want to discuss like Ultimate Team, which comes later. I did not tally up our points, by the way. So
I figured we'd do that maybe next week.
Yeah, once everything's done. We'll talk about that.
Because I don't know, just the time constraints. Because I was thinking about doing it, but I was just like, didn't have enough time. So we'll do it next week.
Yeah, all right. Because
I didn't even keep track of what I said. So I still have the original list of all my optionals too.
Same.
So I got to go back through.
Yep.
The long story short on that though is if you want to know, we'll tally points still, but I'm fairly positive Nate won because like I literally didn't get. I think I might have gotten 2 things.
I like to think I won. But I also remember saying stuff about loot boxes and whatever at EA. It never happened. So there's a lot of things. Skate never happened. Like I don't think I got a point during EA, but that's
But then
I didn't get a point during Ubisoft. I don't think, and there's a lot of other stuff going on because I sank so much into my fucking Division prediction. Anyway,
well, you could get
I can get half points and stuff. I know there's those loopholes that I have, but I don't think they actually worked in that situation. So yeah, the Madden thing was awkward, whatever. Then we bring Shoutcasters out. And we shoutcast a new mobile game, Command and Conquer Rivals. And there is currently a pre-alpha out now for Android. Once again, okay, cool, something different with Command and Conquer. Weird presentation. Thought we were losing a little bit because we just transitioned from nothing to weird shoutcasting. Don't really kind of, yeah, whatever, weird. I played the game a little bit because I went in and registered for the pre-alpha. It was all right.
Mm-hmm.
The thing they make sure to tell you, like, when this game goes live, we are blowing away your progress and you will start again. I think with some, like, if you played, you get a little bonus or whatever, but it's just an interesting thing to do. If it was able to have like a full story, I would much prefer it because I just don't care to play that stuff like against people and have to deal with waiting for.
I feel like that's kind of
waiting for time. Like if I'm, oh my god, I went to the bathroom. I'm just gonna play a quick game. Oh, all right. Well, I'm done in the bathroom, and this game is still going. Like
that's what I was gonna say. Is I feel like that is a detriment to the game. Is the fact that it's you play. I don't know. Was there an option to play against?
I only played against AI. So I think there's
or stop them halfway. See, that sucks.
Yeah, so it's like you kind of have to set some time aside. But I mean, whatever. It's just one of those. At least I'm doing it against AI. Like if I have to do an AI mission, I don't mind that. But if like I'm losing a rank because I'm doing it against a person, that's annoying.
Mm-hmm. It'd be nice if there was like a turn-based mode. I feel like.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I see what you mean. And then we see Anthem, and we see it in a really weird way. We go from trailer to 10 minutes of conversation to gameplay, which whatever. So February 2019 for Anthem, and as Matt has said, EA's showing was weak, and there was way more info from the show floor, and that's what they ended their conference on was Anthem. My immediate take from conference side of things, the cut trailer was pretty good, of just like hitting all the action packed.
Mm-hmm.
Then we immediately pull the brakes and we talk about it, and we talk about it in a way that you're still trying to sell me on the game. Like, look at my concept art. I'm like, wait, no. We're way past this at this point.
I was on the same page in the direction you're going, which is when they started showing concept art and the way they were talking about it, I'm like, oh, this game's not coming out anytime. Like,
yeah, because the way that that conversation went and the way they're showing things was very almost boardroomy still of like,
yeah.
So, all right.
Like,
so
let me pitch you this game. Like,
here's what our mechs are going to look like. And here's kind of what the idea that we're looking for. This is one of the worlds. And you're like, can we just go in? Or are we still storyboarding? Like, what are we doing? I was gonna let you go. I was gonna let you go. Let you go from the show floor.
It was So there was that. But then, like, I'm following the game because I'm a BioWare fanboy, and the show floor was way better of a place for Anthem. There was a demo that people could run through, and a bunch of the YouTube creators and active people online went through and played it, and they had nothing. It really surprised me because, like, I didn't see anyone say anything bad about the game, and most people were like, "This is easily like one of the best handling games that BioWare's ever made, as far as like gunplay and movement goes." And everyone was making a big deal out of the movement and like how smooth and like fluid everything was. And then outside of the conference with the interviews with the devs and stuff like that, like there's a ton of lore. They had like a ton of information, and they weren't really afraid at all to like give up that information. And when they were very specific about the things that they weren't talking about. With that being said, one of them was one of the Javelin suits, one of the mech suits. And like, that's the rumor. Like, it's either they haven't finished creating it and balancing it, or they're holding it back for marketing reasons. But I saw some of the HUD too, which was kind of nice. Like, someone actually had raw footage of gameplay.
Yeah, because the gameplay that they show doesn't really give you much of a HUD.
Yeah, there was the HUD. They talk about customization. Dude, you can straight up change the design of your suit. Like, if you want to like colors and stuff like that, obviously, like they showed in the conference. But the cool thing was like you can manipulate like your armor a little bit and like the fundamentals of the suit a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, there's just way more information available from the show floor. So like if you're interested, you can find it online. A couple of the hot points is like there's not going to be player trading at launch. There's not going to be multiplayer at launch. I think that's all that comes to the top of my head that seems important. I mean, there was a bunch of other stuff, but whatever.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll hear more about it at some point.
Oh, yeah. Screw you, dirt bikes.
Then on to Microsoft.
On to Microsoft. Big old Microsoft.
A lot of people saying they're the winners, in quotations, of E3.
What did you drive? 500 feet to see if the thing worked? Oh, my God, you rednecks. I hate you all. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, Microsoft. Potentially the popular vote winner in terms of like an actual like really good conference.
Yeah.
I would be inclined to also give it to them, but I mean we can discuss that later.
Mm-hmm.
So Microsoft, we start out with Halo Infinite. And there you are. That's about as much. That's about as much as we knew the rest of the time.
Yeah, it was like I don't even know how to describe it. It was like a teaser of trailer type thing, but I didn't notice it at the time, but I read it online later, and there was a lot of people talking about it and stuff like that. But apparently on the bottom of the video it said game engine demonstration. So apparently this was just like a thrown together thing to highlight the aesthetic and style and new slipstream game engine that 343 Industries is heading towards. But that was one of the things the developer said that I noticed though was that's going to be what we saw is the art style that's going to be the next Halo game,
Which is interesting.
It's definitely different. They're saying they're taking it in a new direction. So
and they did.
It's like it looks like a modern Combat Evolved, like the first.
Yeah, very similar. We go from that abruptly and never talk about it again to Ori: Will of the Wisp, the sequel to Ori and the Blind Forest, coming out in 2019, and it is exclusive to Xbox. Looked good. Looked like a cool run.
Yeah.
Interesting. There was the 4 characters. I mean, they were from before too, but it's like
It'll
a
be a
weird kind of story thing. It'll be a darling. We go right from that to Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice.
I hate that name.
I
The
hate that
Shadows
it's,
Die Twice thing.
I hate that it's a Bond title. I hate that.
Totally.
Shadows die twice. Diamonds are forever. Something never dies. Anyway.
And that's from Software.
It's
from Software.
Yeah, it's from Software and also scheduled for 2019.
It reminded me a lot of Neo.
It did remind me a lot of Neo. It also had the Dark Souls vibe. I mean, which Neo has, and it's from Software, so obviously it makes sense. From Software showed 3 games this E3, which
good for them.
Interesting.
Yeah, we'll see how that if they
see if they step on their own toes a little bit.
Yeah, I'll be really impressed if they launch all of them and they're all like at least mediocre.
Yeah.
You know, and they get them out on time. I'll be like, holy shit!
If they're all above a 7.5, well done.
Yeah. And on time.
Yeah.
I'll give you 1 delay on 1 game.
I won't. Then we go on to the oil tycoon that is Todd Howard. Todd Howard comes out on stage to discuss Fallout 76 and announces that Fallout 4 is available on Xbox Game Pass. Cool that Fallout 4 is available because obviously we're leading up to 76, so it makes sense.
Yeah. Good marketing move for them.
Yep, and that's really all. It confirms that it's in West Virginia, but that's all it really says there, and we'll talk about more of that during Bethesda. Then we get the awesome adventures of Captain Spirit.
There was 2 games that were shown too much at E3, and I'll let Nate guess what the 2 games are. One is this one, obviously.
Adventures of Captain Spirit and Kingdom Hearts 3.
Exactly.
That would have been the other theme of E3 was Kingdom Hearts 3, but so yeah, Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit. Episode 1 is free and it's out June 26th, and it is a prequel to Life is Strange 2. So it's going to kind of lead in to that. Doesn't look like it has anything to do with the stuff before, but it's a kid who apparently you're going to be playing both his dreams and take a look at it if you want to play it. I have no interest, but whatever.
Yeah, definitely not our...
People that love that universe are probably going to be all over it, but at the same time, I'm like, whatever, Captain Underpants. All right. Then we go from that to Terry Crews screaming in the Crackdown 3 trailer.
What do you think, Nate? Hit me with it.
I don't think it's hitting February 2019. It
looked rough.
It looked rough, and it's a gameplay trailer. Like it's an engine trailer, but it's not actual gameplay. So I'm like, are we still not feeling?
And it looked like I could just be the Crackdown style, but it looked like an Xbox 360 game to me.
Yeah, it very much looked 360, and I was just like, are we not ready to actually show gameplay?
Yeah.
And you're telling me you're out in 9 months, like, or 8 months? Like, are we not on the same page here?
That's do we know who's doing that? I can't remember.
It bounced around. It's on a different studio now. I can't remember who it is.
First party studio or no? Do you know? Second party maybe.
I think technically it's
ones.
second party. It's a first party title, but it's not a first party studio.
The only way they're like getting that out is if they just start like dumping studios onto that game. Like,
oh yeah, they're just gonna need to pull everybody off of Halo, whatever the hell, and be like 343, help them finish Crackdown. We need to get this done.
Fuck your Halo game. No, it's not gonna be out for like 6 years.
Yeah, what do we care? Let's go. Come on, you just showed an engine. We go from that, and then we have Nier Automata Become as Gods edition coming out June 26th. So basically a complete edition. Up-resed, I believe, on the Xbox One X, which is why it was shown there.
Fancy.
Then we go to Metro Exodus.
That looks good.
That does look good. It looks much more polished than what we saw the first time last year. And it's like, cool. I like what we're seeing. That's scheduled for February 22nd, 2019. The other theme, other than Kingdom Hearts 3 and Robotic Arms, would have been February release dates.
God damn. Yeah, there was a lot of them.
There are so many things that say that they're coming in February 2019. And people, I think, need to understand that that is the new, we're going to try this, and it's going to get pushed out.
Yeah.
Because it can't happen.
If you aren't aware, February is the last month of the fiscal year. So, yeah. It's pretty self-explanatory.
So don't worry. We're
going to sneak it in there.
We're going to tell all investors we'll still make the fiscal year.
Those are rookie numbers. You gotta pump them up.
You gotta pump up those numbers.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind that there's a lot of games coming out in February.
I don't mind it either, but at the same time, it's everybody trying to cram into February doesn't work.
That's the annoying part. Is not necessarily that people are bringing out games in February, but if you look at the release schedule now, it's like you got a cluster of games coming out in February, and you have everything else coming out sometime between like August, September, and November, maybe a little bit into December. Like so now we're gonna get like a 6 month window where like everything comes out, and the other 6 months is just gonna be literally nothing.
Yeah. Let's see here. Then we go from Metro Exodus to the first showing of way too many, and Kingdom Hearts 3 is shown, scheduled to be coming out January 29th, and you will hear that a lot more from here on out. The trailer did not look good.
We should look it up online after this and see if someone tallied up how much like actual time.
You imagine if they went through and divvied up like E3 and then said the hours that like there were 12 or
minutes on screen or
there were
something
9
like
hours of conferences and here's your pie chart for how much was taken up by each game, and like a quarter of it is just going to be Kingdom Hearts 3. Then we see Sea of Thieves DLC. Still trying to save that game.
Still trying.
The trailer is ironic, if anything, for that DLC, because it's what I believe is a player character showing up to this
Fortune teller.
Yeah. Hands her an orb that she is like, holy shit, and like goes into this story about this orb, which is the DLC. And then it pops back out of that to her holding it and looking at him, and the player character is just kind of like looking around at other stuff in the store.
He was like reading a book or like
he's
playing
like,
on a phone or something.
Yeah, he's like
stupid.
rummaging through whatever's around, and she's like, "You just want to know how much this is worth, isn't it?" He's like, "Yeah." She's like, "I'll give you 5 gold." He's like, "All right, perfect." And I was like, "That's exactly what's going to happen to your entire campaign." You went, "Here's all this stuff," and they all went. So, like, how much did I have to pay for it?
Like,
all right,
what?
well, cool. Anyway, good to see him still trying. Keep going.
You'll get there.
You got a year's worth of a dev cycle to try to save your game. Then we go to Horizon 4. Forza Horizon 4.
One of the good ones.
One of the good ones. One of the probably. Let's see here. If we're talking about things, the second thing I'm excited for. The third thing I'm excited for. I'll give it to Battlefield 5, Anthem, and then we'll reach Horizon. I'm excited for Metro, but not like.
Division would
crazy.
be number 1 on that list.
Oh yeah, if we actually break down like my top 10 out of E3, it's in there, but it's not.
Maybe we'll do that if we have time, which we're probably not going to.
Probably not. So we go to Horizon 4. They show off. It's the same map, but there's 4. The seasons are actually like changing throughout. If it changes seasons, there's new map areas that might be open. There's a giant lake. It goes to winter. Lake freezes over. You can drive on the lake. Cool.
Yeah. Forza basically looked at the crew and said, "Fuck you, we can do it better."
Yeah. And it immediately went from Matt and I going, well, we could buy the crew at the end of the month, or we could buy Forza in October. Forza in October 2nd sounds good.
I'm actually looking forward to that. Like it looks really good, and
because I also enjoy. This technically is a 2-year car cycle for us because we played Horizon 3, and I've had car games, but they're old ones that I've just like installed just to have a race around.
Yeah,
it's like getting back to that. Like even when we were playing the crew, when we were talking about it last week, it's like, man, it feels good to just be in a driving game again.
Yeah,
and then I was like, man, Horizon 4 is coming, and then this showed up, and I was like, yes.
When we saw Horizon 4, I was like, oh shit, man, I gotta download Horizon 3 and finish it finally.
Yeah, that's right. I forget you never finished that. So that's out October 2nd. Then we get into Phil Spencer coming back out and discussing how they have bought studios. And here we go. They have a new studio called The Initiative.
That one they created, I think, right? Yeah.
That one they created. They did not discuss what they were going to be making or anything. They confirmed that they bought Undead Labs, which are the makers of State of Decay.
That makes sense. They were basically a second-party studio.
Then they confirmed that they bought Playground Games, who makes Horizon.
Also makes sense.
Then they bought Ninja Theory.
This one hurt me.
Who were the makers of Hellblade.
That was... I want to know the story with that. Because, like, I saw online that apparently something happened between Ninja Theory and PlayStation. There was some drama that took place there.
Oh, jeez.
So I'm genuinely curious.
They probably hate Asians.
I'm genuinely curious to know what, because that was like they're going places.
Yeah.
So.
And then Compulsion Games also was bought by them, the makers of We Happy Few. That dirt bikes suck.
Unless you own one.
I don't even know if that was a dirt bike. No, it wasn't.
Probably side by side.
That's a 4-wheeler. So Compulsion Games is also bought by Xbox. They're the makers of We Happy Few, and they show that off a little bit. It's going to be coming out on August 10th. And then my next highlight is I wrote PUBG BS.
They showed the most unrealistic PUBG trailer I've ever seen.
Yep.
Now, granted, I've never actually played this game, but I've watched far too much of it because of Twitch. And never have I ever seen any gameplay that even comes close to resembling what they showed off.
Oh, yeah. Not even close. They talk about a winter map that's coming. There's that winter cutscene at the end there, and then I think they're running along the island. And on the island roofs, it talks about when that map is coming to Xbox. But I was just like, oh, boy, you're trying. It's sweet that you're trying, PUBG, but oh, man. Then we go real anime, and we do a Tales of Vesperia remake, or now remaster. So cool. I mean, people that love the Tales series, I'm sure they'll be pumped about that. Then we talk about The Division 2, but we're not going to talk about that right here. We're going to move that to Ubisoft's conference. They talk about Game Pass, whatever her name was. She talks about Game Pass. Really weird. They're talking about like, oh, Master Chief Collection will be on it at some point soon. Don't tell you when. And it's like, well, okay.
I think the takeaway was that it was successful and they're going to be...
That seemed like an investor call where they're like, hey, we still have this service. And I was like, okay. Then ID at Xbox comes out. Well, it comes out. We have a sweet montage that puts way too many games in there for me to call out. So you can just go watch the cut of the ID at Xbox if you want to. That's all their indie stuff. Cool stuff. Just because they're the ones that initially, like, their indie studios are pretty cool.
Yeah.
Tomb Raider shows up. More on that later when we talk about Square. Session is a skating game coming in 2019 that was funded on Kickstarter. And if Session is the game that I think it is, it controlled like dick when I played the demo.
We never saw Shenmue.
We never saw Shenmue.
I just thought about that. Kickstarter.
Yep. So Session, it's supposed to be a spiritual successor to Skate, or like in that same kind of like controls and stuff, but it controlled so poorly for me when I had it. I don't. I appreciate the attempt. Then Black Desert gets announced for Xbox. Black Desert is a giant MMO in Asia. Todd and I have played. We've talked about it on this before. And we've played. I've got like 100 and some odd hours into that game. Todd's probably got triple that. You can farm while you're AFK. Like, you can just leave it on overnight, and it'll just fish for you. There's a lot of weird stuff in there, but cool.
Curious to see what they do, like how they integrate it with the controller and everything.
Yeah, that's the big thing for me. Then we get a Devil May Cry 5 announcement for spring 2019. Cool. New Devil May Cry. And spring 2019 indicates that they moved out probably of the February window. They're probably in like April or March. Cuphead DLC gets shown off. Also cool. Another darling game for Xbox. Tunic the Fox is that kind of isometric 2D Zelda-looking one where he's chopping the weeds. Okay. I mean, it's like a really polygon game, so like polygons. There's triangles and things. Then we see Jump Force, which I don't like the name still. Haven't liked the name since I heard it. Thought maybe I would like it more later. I still haven't.
Which one was that again?
Jump Force is the game with Naruto, Dragon Ball, One Piece, Death Note, and whoever else they put in the game.
It's like an anime Street Fighter.
Yeah, basically an anime brawl. I'm really curious to figure out how Death Note works in that, though. You just write names down.
The person dies.
Yeah, you're just standing there. You're like, haha, I see. Yeah, Goku. I win. I'm moving on.
I hope that's his like whatever super.
Super is it's just the game ending. Then we see Dying Light 2.
That's I feel like that's going to be like the sleeper of the.
Dying Light 2 is very cool for a to show at Xbox. We know it won't be only Xbox, but for them to have that is a good win for them in terms of conference power. and it looks like they took a lot of what was good about 1 and kept it in 2, and then went, we can make this deeper, and made it deeper. Actually giving you choices in like an RPG setting, choices in conversation about how you want to handle certain situations, taking over the town like it was. You can give water to some people, or you can give water to them a different way. One might make it the black market. One might mean that the town gets taken over by a certain gang. Yada yada.
Yeah, Dying. The first one is one of those games that, like it's on a very short list of games that I wish I had played.
Yes, and it also is the reason that you see everything coming out in January and February now. It was the first one to do that and be wholly recognized for doing it.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that one. Then we see a new Battletoads, kind of out of left field there. I don't care about Battletoads. I don't know if you...
I don't care either.
But the people that do, I'm sure they are pumped. Just Cause 4 gets announced. We'll talk more about that, Square. And then Gears of War shows up. And Gears of War shows up and then does the weirdest thing I think they could have.
Well, first off,
Go ahead.
They bust through a wall, Kool-Aid Man style, with a Funko Pop head.
Yep.
What's it? Gears Funko or whatever. What is it called?
Gears Pop or Gears Funko. Yep. It's a Funko Pop game that'll be coming out in 2019. It'll also be on mobile.
I wonder if that's like their version of like a Legos.
I'm wondering
style.
if that will be the new version of Legos.
Oh, fucking kill me.
Like, we'll now have Funko Harry Potter.
Could the world get any worse? Yes.
All
is
right.
the
I
answer.
just didn't want to answer it for you. Gears Tactics is a prequel game. It's turn-based and coming for PC.
Name a good game with the tactics in the title.
Oh, boy. Shadowrun?
It's hard.
Does Shadowrun have a tactics?
I don't know. That was just me trolling.
That's my only thing I can think of. That being said, I'm assuming it would play very XCOM-like. Like
Yeah.
Gears could very well just take the XCOM engine and go, and there we are. You just have over-the-shoulder shots of Dom missing people from 2 feet away because their chance was 70%. And
I find it interesting that they are making such a hard push with the Gears franchise. Like, it definitely has more street cred than perhaps Halo does.
It also has something to show.
True. But it's kind of like I don't know. It just seems weird that they're pushing so hard with it. Because that's, I mean, he said Gears of War Tactics, and then we saw a really, I don't know, I'm going to say bizarre trailer, teaser, or whatever, cinematic for Gears 5.
Yeah, very clearly in-game,
Yeah.
but cinematic.
Yeah. I don't know if the storyline's relevant. Like, if that was something someone who was really into Gears would understand, but I watched it and I was like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. This is weird. So.
Yeah, I didn't really know what was going on, but at the same time, it looked good.
Yeah, it looked
and
good.
it very much looked like Gears. So I don't know if that's a good or bad thing for it, but it was Gears. Phil Spencer comes back out and says, "Hey, we're also working on game streaming. We're also working on our AI, and we are working on our next Xbox console.
It's called Skynet."
Yeah. And weirdly enough, you combine all those things, Skynet. And then he goes to walk away, and the credits or whatever are rolling, and it's interrupted by like this hacker screen. And here's Cyberpunk 2077.
I have I'm slightly annoyed by the Cyberpunk 2077 thing.
Go for it.
What they showed was cool, but it was pretty much like a trailer. There was no gameplay.
Nope.
But it was so well received, which I find is really
Frustrating.
Yeah, because there was no gameplay, and really, it wasn't like the trailer was great, but it didn't really it just showed you the aesthetic of the game. Really.
Yep, and that's all. I mean, at the same time, because I
don't
agree,
mind.
I agree. I'm also like frustrated with just I guess how there's two things that go into it. CD Projekt Red can't do anything wrong right now.
Bingo.
Two, because they went radio silent for so long and would not talk about it, the fact that then they get to blow their load here and everybody else gets to blow their load at the same time. It's one giant orgy for everybody just to go, oh my God, did you see this moment? And then there's this thing, and then there's this aesthetic. And I'm like, it's just called Outrun and Vaporwave. Like,
Yeah.
are we done? It's Cyberpunk. Like, it is the aesthetic of the name of the game. Like, it's not hard.
Nate's so upset about it, he's throwing hangers.
Some macking hangers around and
Yeah, like
kissing
I don't
babies.
mind like what they showed. I think it looks good. You know, CD Projekt Red. I feel that they will not mess it up. What's irritating is the general reaction where everyone's freaking out. And if it was any other developer, any other game in the same situation, it would at least be 50-50 where people would be carrying around fucking pitchforks, getting ready to murder someone.
be like, can you show us something? And
Yeah,
then-
or people would be like fanboying.
Yep. And we just have all fanboying now.
Yeah.
That there's also because it went through like this command line situation of doing sweet hacker code and stuff. There is at one moment when I joked and I was like, "Man, those look all like a bunch of game keys."
Mm-hmm.
Scrolling by, those are all Witcher 3 game keys.
Were they?
Yep.
Oh, that's
Somebody
sweet.
confirmed that they were Witcher 3
Yeah.
game keys. Then there was the still that got pulled off.
Yeah, the letter
of
at the end.
The letter from Project Red that talks about kind of like why they went dark and why they showed up here.
Mhm. Which is nice. They're really good at putting in those personal touches.
Yeah, they're a very personal company. They do it well.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw the picture I added lower down in the dock.
I did not, but I will look at it.
It's from that same thing. It's just a text grab where it's going through like things it's activating or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And it's status, scan ports, project, CD Projekt Red, yada yada. And it says Project Red 108. And it says we leave greed to others. Closed. Then it talks about a trailer and it talks about something else, but it specifically throws the we leave greed to others right at
Yeah.
pretty much directly EA. Inadvertently, because they're the most greedy ones that are mentioned are around. They don't call them out by name, but if you think greedy, you think EA. So, yeah, I thought it's just fun little touches there by them.
Mhm.
There's more. There's like questions. I can't remember if it's in the still or not. They're like, loot box in a single player game? Are you kidding me? You know, they answer a couple of questions and stuff. So cool, good. I'm hyped, but I'm not going to start claiming it's the best game ever. Obviously,
Yeah.
like I'm
not
not an
frothing at the
idiot.
mouth, hyped.
Like
I'm
when it gets
really-
here, I'll be pumped. But before that, I'm staying away.
I'm really intrigued because I know, like, I didn't.
Rumors
get
it's
into
first
it.
person,
Yeah,
which is the other
Yeah.
interesting part.
I didn't get into it. I didn't get into Witcher 3. But I know how big and how detailed that world is, and it's going to be really interesting to see that applied to
And they also said this is bigger. So-
apply all that to like this aesthetic and this type of game. It's going to be real fucking interesting.
Yeah. So that's it for Microsoft. Overall, really well done.
Yeah.
A couple weird moments that some stuff went on too long and some other stuff just didn't need to be shown.
It was a standard
Every
E3 press conference
Yep.
that was
In a year that
Solid.
most other people didn't do standard, it was a good call.
Yeah.
A couple things that ran on too long, but these will be repeated. Kingdom Hearts ran on too long.
so
But
I think the biggest takeaway from me, I feel like, is them purchasing or acquiring or whatever those studios. Like
it's a very big call because we had said they don't have anything they need to buy, and they proved out and bought out.
they did, and it was nice to see them double down and like commit hardcore to like fighting. Like
They-
you know,
They are in a very good spot come next gen.
yeah. Oh yeah. Next, it's gonna be.
These last arguably 3 years have been them just going, build up a user base, give the user a reason to come here, give the reason the user come, and they just keep doing it.
Yeah.
And if Sony's not careful, they're going to lose it.
Oh yeah, that's very
not this
true.
generation. They're too far ahead. Next generation, there's a chance they lose it. So that's the end of Microsoft, and now we go right into Bethesda. Also up there for potentially my favorite conference at the same time, and also not. It's a real 50-50. I could flip a coin if I really wanted to.
Yeah.
Bethesda starts off with Andrew WK. I still don't know why.
The interesting choice in this particular scenario was the fact that they legitimately started off with him playing music, and that was like nothing else.
They allowed him to be him and play a live show.
Yeah, which would have been fine if, like, for example, they were showing a sizzle reel of gameplay, like that sizzle reel that they showed of gameplay.
Yeah, that wasn't happening with him doing it.
Yeah, that would have been a great time, to have him playing live, but they chose not to.
Nope, like, hey, how about we just have him come out and play a song, and then we'll show gameplay and talk about that. It's like, wait, no, at the same time, people.
It was just really awkward for an E3 press conference.
Yeah.
Because you're not having people standing up going, yeah, rocking out. It's all people like sitting in chairs, like,
I mean, those Asian people were loving him.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah.
He's giant in Asia. What do you want?
He's huge over there.
So then they trot out Rage 2. They have him. They're like, what better artist for Rage 2 than Andrew WK? Yeah. They show some stuff. Looks pretty cool. Looks like there's a bunch of powers, and this the driving, the combat looks crazy.
Yeah, looks interesting.
It looks like Mad Max with Just Cause, but with superpowers. I don't know. It's like a really weird.
I'll save it for afterwards, but
no, you can go for it.
No, it's better if I wait because that's
the only time we're talking about Rage 2.
I know, but I feel like Bethesda's turning everything, like all of their games are kind of merging together. Like they have all like Rage 2,
we're starting to blur the lines a little bit.
Wolfenstein, like they're all starting to become these like like hardcore like dirty shooters,
action RPG shooters,
gritty shooters.
Then we go from Crazy Andrew WK and we slow it right down. We immediately start talking about the Elder Scrolls Legends, which is the card game.
Pump the brakes.
Coming to Switch, Xbox, and PS4. Then we talk about the Elder Scrolls Online, and it's getting werewolves.
Awoo.
Werewolves of London. We go right from that to Doom Eternal.
Which was a teaser.
Yeah, pretty much just a teaser. They say we're going to hear more about it at QuakeCon.
They teased it.
It's pretty much Doom 2. That's what I would assume it to be. More Doom. I can't complain. They did so well with the first one. Let's go for a second one. And then talk about Quake Champions. Kind of do a breakdown of what they've changed and stuff like that. I still don't care about Quake anymore. Like, I feel like it had its moment about 15 years ago. And we're kind of moving on.
I mean,
we got Overwatch now. We're done. But
yeah,
some people just still love Quake. But that's also why Cliffy B's done. Because he tried and he failed. Then we talk about Prey in a really weird office video joking about mimics. I don't know. It was just kind of like whatever.
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, if you're a Prey fan, I'm sure. It was
if you're a Prey fan, I'm sure you just breathe out your nose a little heavier. I hope your sense of humor is not that easy. There's a free update though. It's going to add 3 modes. There's a DLC called Moon Crash, which is basically an endless mode, and that's out now. We talked about that earlier. So, okay, cool. Still updating the game. That's about it.
Yeah.
Wolfenstein Youngblood gets shown. Trailer. No, like, actual gameplay. But Wolfenstein Youngblood, it's 1980s Paris. It's a co-op game in which you play as BJ Blazkowicz's twin daughters.
It's a cool direction.
It is. I like the idea of slaughtering Nazis in co-op. Bro, watch me rip his face off. Then we go to
They hate Nazis at Bethesda.
Yeah, in case you weren't curious, if you want to see a bunch of what are probably in boardrooms during part of their day, guys go, fuck Nazis, watch Bethesda. It's pretty good. We do a little bit of VR. They talk about Prey VR. There's like a puzzle experience along with, I think part of that endless mode might have had it. But there's like this puzzle experience where you're like apparently walking through the institute, like trying to solve puzzles. Okay. And then there's a Wolfenstein VR one called Cyberpilot, in which you're basically a hacker who takes over some of the Nazis' mechs and uses them to wreak havoc on their own people. Because, once again, kill Nazis. Then they announce Skyrim for Alexa.
I love everything about this situation.
So there's two really good digs. Earlier when they talk about Rage 2, they say thanks to our friends at Walmart Canada. So good dig there. Screw you, Walmart. And then we get to this and they're like, we understand we've put Skyrim on everything. So what if we put it on Alexa and you play by voice command? And they have Keegan-Michael Key doing it. And it's very well done. It's like maybe a minute 30.
Yeah, the skit was a work of art, really, because it was timed like it was a minute and a half, so it was short and sweet. It was fucking hilarious. And then the best part is they actually fucking did it.
Yep.
Which is like, I feel like we should be almost insulted by that.
I feel like
a
we should
smack in the face.
We should be insulted.
Gotcha.
But at the same time, we thought the joke was so good when we watched the conference, and then they went, wait, there's another layer to this joke. And then we all went, fuck you. It was very much that, oh, you got me really good with that one. And
Yeah.
Fusroda. Yeah, it was really good. I enjoyed the skit. It was, him clearing the table and all that. It was fun. It was a good minute 30 to watch.
All the cheese.
Yeah. Do I have any more health potions? No. How many wheels of cheese do I have? 432. I eat all of it. Every last one. Dragon breathes flame on you. You have 7% left. Yeah. Definitely go watch the video. And then if you have an Amazon Alexa,
Play Skyrim.
Alexa, download Skyrim? Sorry. I don't know if that worked or not. You let me know.
I should give that a shot, I think. Probably be fun.
I don't have an Alexa.
I wonder like if it's like just a little like I'm assuming it's just like a little tiny adventure.
Yeah, there's probably just that skit. The reviews are also great. It's just a bunch of people commenting like Fusroda and yada yada. Now here comes Todd Howard. Again.
That magnificent bastard.
The oil tycoon himself. There's so few people that are going to get that. Brings the Fallout 76 deets. Lots of deets. We got a long time talking about Fallout 76 because as Pete Hines said at one point, you're not leaving for a while, which sounded like we were trapped in the conference.
Yeah. Yeah. I really appreciated their I like the way that they presented Fallout in 76 because they gave enough to like make people feel better about it, I feel like.
Yeah.
But not enough to where they were like,
here's everything. Here's
everything. And he walked around the stage and he was like, it was like very personal feeling.
Yeah, there's very few people that get the maybe there's more behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But there's very few people that companies all over can have that are a Todd Howard. Todd, ignore the fact that he's developed, I don't know, he's the lead developer on how many award-winning games.
Yeah.
You take all that away. When he actually does a presentation, it's personal. It's informative. He's not stuttering around. He does everything well. And you get like the Wolfenstein guys out there, or even I think it was like a couple of the other guys, and they're like, oh yeah,
yeah, like the Prey people.
The Prey people, it's like awkward. It's not well done. They're not public speaking people. And Todd's just like, even if he's not a public speaking person, it's very much, this is my bro who just made a game. He's just telling me about it.
Yeah.
Like there's no this is my overlord. Like Pete Hines is really good at it too, but Todd's wandering around the stage and engaging every part of the audience was very, very personal and very well done. There's nobody else
Yeah.
that can hold an audience like he can when he's talking about a game.
No, I can't think of anyone.
EA's Sea of Solitude person, like they just get so damn emotional around stage. And like I get it, it's a big moment for you, but at the same time, like we got stuff to do.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we get to Fallout 76 details.
Yeah.
It's a prequel. It's the first vault that we're going to talk about.
I have beef with that whole thing a little bit.
Being a prequel?
I have one specific beef.
Okay.
They were showing the gameplay.
All right.
You're getting attacked by super mutants.
Okay. Yep.
They
Technically not
exist.
Yep. Knew you were going to say that.
That one thing bothers me for some reason.
Weird.
Yeah.
Purist. So
could be. I
read the terminal.
The early leaks of the game did say that there was going to be some retcons that happen.
Yep. So it'll be the creation of super mutants. It's 4 times the size of Fallout 4,
which is mind blowing.
Yep. I think it was something like Fallout 4 is like 3.5 miles across, like left to right of the map, and this one's like 15 or something around there. So I was like, yep, makes sense. There are 6 regions. There's also something about that you can see 16 times farther or something. Like you can see weather systems.
Yeah, they increased the draw distance like significantly.
Yeah, and you can see other weather systems happening. Like you could tell it's raining somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's entirely online, but you can play solo. And it's going to be out November 14th. So I at least get that part right.
Yep. There was a couple things that I was worried about that they touched on. I think I don't know if they touched on it during the conference or later on. I'm skewing everything together, but
I will keep you in check.
They are limiting the amount of people to a map to, I think they said 20 to 30 people.
Yep, they said dozens, not hundreds.
Exactly, and they said they wanted to make it feel special when you come across another player. And the other part was the nukes.
Which, real quick, I have a feeling will not be as rare as they want it to be.
It's going to be very GTA Online-esque because you're going to be able to see the people where everyone is on the maps at all times. And they said they're doing that for better or for worse.
Oh.
So,
all right.
You can find people if you want to find people. The one thing I was really worried about was the nukes. I'm not a super, when I play online games, I don't like to be fucking harassed all the time.
Yeah, I don't have time for that.
That's what the one downside of GTA Online. And the nukes, I was like, oh shit, this is going to suck. But they go into detail, and I think this was outside of the press conference, but they go into the details about acquiring the codes to launch a nuke is going to be high-end content, high-end end game content. It's going to be very hard. It's going to take a lot of work, a lot of time. And they said that there's incentives in place to make it a bad idea to launch a nuke at other players. Namely, the fact that that's how you get the end game content is by nuking an area and then going into the fallout, because it mutates that particular area.
Right.
So if anything, if you drop a nuke on a player, it doesn't necessarily kill the player or remove them or do anything. You're actually doing them a favor by basically placing a ton of end game content right there for them to get to immediately.
It'd be funny if they mutated you and you just became this giant badass.
Yeah. I don't know.
I didn't look at anything after the conference.
All right. So the perk system's interesting. Go into that real quick. Getting rid of the Fallout 4 perk system. It's cards now. Perk cards. And you can switch them out. So you basically get a hand of cards and you can choose what your perks are.
And so you can probably run how many active at a time?
I didn't see.
Okay.
I don't know if they said it or not, but you can choose to have a perk permanently, and I'm assuming that'll have some sort of boon. But there are mutations that you can acquire, and they're very much like in the Skyrim.
Can I get 20 times the size right arm or something?
It's very much in the
just walk around bulked up on one side of.
From the way they were talking about it, it reminds me of the whole idea of becoming a vampire or a werewolf in Elder Scrolls.
Oh God!
So if you become a vampire in Elder Scrolls, you have all these. You you have all these advantages,
Mhm.
but the big disadvantages, obviously, of like the sunlight fucking hurts you. Like it's going to be a balance thing.
That, and I mean Twilight. So
Sparkle.
sunshine through sparkles.
Twilight came up in conversation at my work the other day, actually.
I honestly, knowing where you work, I won't be surprised depending on who you say brought it up.
The question was,
Oh God,
what's the worst film franchise you could think of? And my answer immediately was Twilight.
man, it's up there.
It's definitely up there. That was the first one that came to my mind.
That's
I don't know
that
if
would be an immediate one for me that would come to my mind. I'd have to think about it.
Yeah.
We can come back to it. So that's Fallout 76.
there's a
I'm
Look
pumped. It's cool. They're
I'm
gonna have a
pumped.
beta.
We're gonna play the shit out of that land style.
Yeah, right after we get done with Red Dead. Hey, you say land style. We got the room. I have an office built to do this.
So many games to play.
But I'm I'm totally down. I mean, yeah. Why wouldn't we? I loved how we played Fallout 4. We've talked about it before, but we, you, me, and Tyler all started it at the same time in the same room, and it was the enjoyment of, oh man, I gotta grab a drink or I gotta take a piss, and then check on what the other two people are doing, and no one's where the other ones are. It was awesome.
That was one of my fond memories, gaming memories.
It is up there in top 10 memories for sure. Yep, so that's Fallout 76. Now we go to the Elder Scrolls mobile game called Blades.
Yeah.
It is free, and it's Elder Scrolls 6. No, not really. It's going to be free. There's 3 like modes. You can play against people in VR and on your phone. It seems simple. It looked like it was running well, like for a mobile game. But at the same time, I'm like, is this where we really wanted to go with your innovative brain, Todd Howard?
There was I feel like it's I don't know. It looked really nice and it seemed to run really well, but I have a feeling it's going to favor the iPhone pretty heavily.
Yeah, probably.
So
unless you're playing on like a Razer phone or one of the gaming phones.
Yeah.
Then we have the quick reminder that Fallout Shelter are coming to Switch and PS4. And then we say, hey, how about one more thing? And they announce Starfield, their space game. Don't really say anything else other than that. I don't think they even gave a date. They just confirmed they're working on Starfield.
Yeah, I think they continue.
And then they say, how about one more thing? And they show Elder Scrolls 6, same exact thing. They say coming after Starfield, and they show Elder Scrolls 6 over like a kind of mountainy area, and then just put the logo up that says Elder Scrolls 6.
I don't know the details behind it, and I can't remember which one they referenced it at, but they referred to one of them as a next-gen title.
I believe they started with Starfield and said next-gen.
Yeah, so to give you a rough idea, and I'm of two minds of this. I wish they would have made it more apparent that these games were like not even remotely close to coming out.
Right.
But I'm glad that they said, hey, these exist.
Yeah, and I'm glad they at least gave you an order.
Yeah,
They're like,
exactly.
Elder Scrolls 6 is happening. We're doing Starfield first.
Yeah.
Shut up.
That's what I wish they would have done, is that exact thing. But the rumors place the PlayStation 5, and this is just the PlayStation 5, so that's the most rumors we know of right now, at 2021 at the earliest, I think.
I have 2020, 2021, yeah.
Yeah. So
I think there's a chance we see it, or at least announced in 2020, and then potentially announced and released in the same year.
So like the CEO said, whatever. He said end of life for the PS4 was 2021 or something along those lines.
Right,
So,
which end of life for the PS3 was 3 years, or like 2 or 3 years into the life of the PS4. So, I mean, take it with a grain of salt.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, Starfield's 3 years out, at least.
I say we could see it in 2. Depends on how much they actually want to, how far along they actually are, because we've heard about it for a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
And seeing how Fallout 76 looks like it's running on the Fallout 4 engine, there's a good
Fallout
chance.
76 apparently has been in development since Fallout 4
Yeah.
was in development.
They're like,
which
what
is
about an
kind of
online
weird.
game? And then he's like, we couldn't shake the idea, so we just had to do it.
So like probably 2 or 3 years for Starfield,
Yep.
and probably
Another year
5
at least.
to 6 for Elder Scrolls. I think. 5 to 6
I mean,
for
minimum,
Elder
it's
Scrolls.
at least a year after Starfield.
Yeah.
At least. Then we get to Devolver. That's it for Bethesda. We're through 3 conferences so far. You got a ranking 1 through 3?
I don't know. I mean, I'm weird.
I'd probably be going Microsoft, Bethesda, EA.
Yeah.
For me.
Objectively, yes. Subjectively, I think I enjoyed Bethesda's conference.
Subjectively, I agree as well.
I will say,
objectively, Microsoft was a better conference.
Mhm.
Subjectively, Fallout had more. Fallout exactly. Bethesda had more I cared about, or more I was. I don't even know more I cared about. More that I was like wanting to get to. Because I got real hyped at the 76 stuff.
if you're not, speaking of Devolver, I would say that if you're not an absolute like hardcore gamer, and by hardcore gamer I mean like if you're not like super interested in the industry, and all that good stuff, you should just watch the Devolver conference and just get the highlights for everyone else. Because Devolver's is like pure entertainment.
Devolver's pure entertainment. At the same time,
They showed some good games.
They showed some good games, but they also make the point where they're being funny with what they're saying, but it's damningly true, and people just ignore it. Like, and they just keep shoving loot boxes down your throat, and we don't understand why the fuck you keep buying them. And it's like, exactly, gaming industry. Do you get it? Do you fucking get it? Anyway, so Devolver, real quick, I wrote this all in one bullet point. They showed Scum. It's an island with prisoners that are trying to escape.
Battle
Royale. They also show My Friend Pedro.
That one looks.
I'm
not
cool.
going to try to describe it. It's a shooter of some kind, but it looks great.
It's John Wick with
a banana
bike helmet
There's
and a
banana
2D side scroller. Like, it's 2D side scroller that's nothing but just action the entire time. Looks pretty cool. And then they announced Loot Box Coin. Matt will give us the current price of Loot Box Coin, but it is a cryptocurrency that cannot be mined. There is no value to it. The value is so hidden that not even the owners know what the value of it is. Is it regulated by anybody? Hell no. Can you buy anything with it? Probably not. Does the government consider it gambling? She doesn't give a shit. Really good take on cryptocurrency, and I loved it.
So she mentioned that the price was going to fluctuate
every hour for absolutely no reason whatsoever.
The first time we checked it, it was at $131,
which was the night of the conference.
The second time we checked it, it was $150.
Yep.
It is no longer available. So
I don't remember if they were running it for a certain time or not, but
I'm assuming I'm going to guess they sold out.
I would believe it because it was just great. They're like, you can only buy it with actual money that you have in your actual bank account. Great jab at cryptocurrency. Loved it. And then they showed Metal Wolf Chaos XD, which looked like an N64 game.
There was some.
And you can check it out at the website, which is MechAmericaGreatAgain.com.
That's good stuff.
Because Devolver memes their entire conference. They did say going into it, and we were talking about like what's Devolver going to do, just for comedy's sakes, not like what are they actually going to announce. They had tweeted out, before you watch our conference tonight, you might want to watch the original RoboCop and get an idea about what we're going to do. And it was very well done. Watch it. It's only 19 minutes. It's going to be funny. It's going to be crazy, but it's good. They have a GIF versus GIF joke.
Classic.
All good. From there, we reach the next day. We reach Monday, which starts with Square Enix.
We're gonna have to pick up the pace here, unless we want this to be 3 hours.
All right, we'll pick up the pace a little bit. Square's quick. Ubisoft, yeah, we'll get through it. We told you it was going to be long. If we didn't, well, we did now. So, Square Enix. Tomb Raider gets talked about. September 14th, cool. Shows a gameplay. It's still Laura just murdering. Like, I'm going to paint myself in mud and disappear to the wall. I'm going to be that shadow scene where all of a sudden you just see my eyes closed.
Very Rambo.
Yeah,
Rambo-esque.
it's very, I'm going to hide in the shadows, and all you'll see is my eyes open, and then you're dead. And it's like, okay, Laura, relax.
She went to a dark place.
Final Fantasy Online Stormblood, and there's a Monster Hunter tie-in, and there's another new expansion coming. Cool. I guess Final Fantasy Online is still doing well, if they're still supporting it. Then Captain Spirit gets shown again, which at least here it makes sense because it's their game, but like too long. Dragon Quest XI gets announced coming September 4th. Nier, we talked about it before. The complete editions coming June 26th. Octopath Traveler gets shown off. That's coming later in July. Just Cause 4 gets more details, more stuff shown off, more actual things you can do with his grapple and stuff like that. That's coming December 4th. And Kingdom Hearts 3, once again, with the same trailer we saw at Microsoft for January 29th.
That's what killed me. It's not so much that it is that they showed it it got shown like 3 or 4 times, but it was the same trailer every time.
Except for Sony. Sony was the only one that was different. And then they announced Babylon's Fall. Don't say anything about it other than like a bunch of quotes. And then they showed a game called The Quiet Man, which they'll talk more about in August, they said. Quiet Man looked like just a silent John Wick in terms of like, oh, I'm just going to walk into an alley. Nothing's going on. I can't hear you and I can't talk, so I'm just going to beat the shit out of you. It was really weird.
It was weird.
Then we go right to Ubisoft.
Had the emo haircut, too.
Yeah. And we go right to Ubisoft. Ubisoft, we start with a giant dancing parade of Just Dance 2019.
Classic.
Exactly what we expect. I lose my prediction. It is coming out to the Wii. It wasn't one of my ones that I claimed, luckily, but it is still coming both to the Wii and Wii U. Beyond Good and Evil 2 comes out next. They talk more about the characters. They have a behind closed doors demo. You can play alone or co-op. And everyone can be a part of it with Joseph Gordon-Levitt and his company Hit Record.
Basically, you can go to Hit Record and you can participate in projects that help the development of the game, like art, music, that type of thing. Interesting idea.
Interesting. They show pre-alpha footage, but they never zoom in on it. Purposely, I believe, because
fucking game, man.
It's still so far away. Somebody compared it to... It's basically Ubisoft's Death Stranding. I was like, oh, God.
I think that's giving it too much credit.
It's stupidly accurate, though, where they're just going to keep showing it forever, and then it won't come out for 5 years.
Well, it's already been in development, I think, for a while, right?
Yeah, but they
supposedly
didn't
they reboot it at some point? Like they had to restart development.
Yeah, but they didn't. When they came out last year, they're like, "Hey, help us make this game. Sign up for the Space Monkey program." I was like, well, "You guys haven't shown anything." And then they do this, and they're like, "By the way, keep signing up because we don't have artists, and like we need you to make stuff." And it's like, okay, then. Rainbow Six Siege people come out. They talk about a documentary that they made about some of the Rainbow Six players. Okay. Then a really weird Trials Rising gets announced. The guy rides in on a motorcycle. Okay. Makes sense. The whole thing makes sense. But then it's the awkward destruction of a horribly fake podium, and he just seems like not a good press person. I can understand where he's like a funny value type thing, probably better in an interview or actually demoing the game. But that moment just didn't go over well. There's a closed beta sign up now, and it's out in February 2019 on all consoles. So Trials also coming to February, along with every other game. For sake of going in order, I'll keep doing this way. But then we get to the Division 2. And Nate's hype train goes right off the rails. Because it was going too fast. Trying to get to the end. Division 2, you get a gameplay and trailer. They talk about endgame specialization. So you have crossbow. You can either get a crossbow at the end of the... So you reach level 30. And then there's a new like talent tier that gives you something else to keep progressing towards. Which one has a crossbow, one has a grenade launcher, and one has a sniper rifle. They announced there's 8-player raids coming to the division, and there's 3 DLCs that are coming out for free after launch, kind of like their year 1 plan. The game will be coming out March 2019. Yeah. Hype?
I'm interested.
I am committed.
Yeah.
I'm still super worried about the story.
Yeah.
Because I really love Division 1 story, but game-wise, it looks like it's more Division, and that they kept what was good and expounded on it, which is exactly what I want them to do. Don't blow anything away. It takes place, we didn't say this, it takes place in Washington, D.C. So another notable area with recognizable landmarks. So it should be pretty cool.
Faux shizzle.
Faux shizzle nizzles. Then we go to Mario Rabbids, and it has a Donkey Kong DLC. We've talked about this before, but this is kind of actually them like reminding us and breaking it down a little bit. Then we looked at Skull and Bones. Skull and Bones is supposed to be coming in 2019. I believe there was both boat combat and you not being on the boat, which I don't know if I'm correct on that.
I'm interested in this game. I don't remember what I saw, so I don't know. Like,
I'm not interested, so it's not good to ask me about it. But I'm a gamer. I'm just done with boats. Like,
he hates boats, man.
I don't mind them if they're like a little part of a game. Like, oh, hey, there's this like the Assassin's Creed ones in the most recent one. I didn't care for the giant sea battle, but when they're like, oh yeah, there are boats, like you can run onto them or steal like the little rafts to get across lakes and stuff. I was like, yes, this is what I want. I don't need these giant sea battles. Like, it's just not me. I don't know. I don't enjoy it.
Poor taste.
There it is. That's what I was waiting for. And then Transference gets talked about. It's with Elijah Wood. So already we've had 2 celebrities, which is more than every other conference.
Hey, Bethesda had Todd Howard.
True, he's bigger than both these guys, actually. Elijah Wood comes out, talks about it's a first-person exploration VR game. Horror-type game. You're going through people's memories and stuff. Looks interesting. Then Starlink gets talked about. Comes out October 16th. It is a Toys to Life game, which I think is really interesting.
Ooh, bad idea.
They wouldn't classify it as one, but you're building the toy to then put in the game.
Too.
Yeah. And Star Fox is coming to that, except he is exclusive to the Nintendo Switch version.
Gotcha.
Boom. Suck it. Then we go to For Honor. For Honor's free until Monday. If you log into Steam, it's free. Just claim it. I need to do that. Remind me to do that. Or if it's not Steam, maybe you play, but you can get For Honor for free. Just figure out how by Monday. So like 2 days from whenever you listen to this. New DLC is coming out on October 16th. I think they were going to China. Okay. And there's a 4v4 Castle Siege mode coming. Cool. We go right to the Crew 2. Luckily, we don't stick on it long. There's going to be an open beta on June 21st, and it's out on June 26th. So that's really all they need. And then we talk about Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Which, damn it, kind of. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, you get to pick a male or female character. It takes place in ancient Greece. It's going to be out October 5th. You are using a part of like Leonidas' spear that looks like it's a piece of Eden because it's got that glow to it and whatever.
Yeah.
It's much more RPG. You're actually picking responses. I like it. I like what we're seeing. I don't like that it's out this year.
I don't know. Like I'm like having mixed feelings about it because it definitely looks unpolished.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating from the story perspective of like So you have Origins, and that's supposed to be the origins of the assassins and all that good stuff.
Yep.
And then you have this game that's taking place roughly 400 years before it.
Yep.
And it's just like, all right, how are we going to make this work? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. And I just don't like it because I really enjoyed them taking the year off for Origins and making Origins what it was. And I wish they were taking another year and just making Odyssey what it could be.
Yeah. I mean, Origins is really good. And it's probably my favorite game of, like, it was one of my top games that I played recently.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll wait. I mean, we'll see, I guess.
I mean, Assassin's Creed for me is always a Christmas game anyway. It's like one of the, like, I know what's under the tree situations. It's always going to be an Assassin's Creed. But it's... I with how much other stuff is coming out, I didn't want it this year.
Yeah,
that's the problem. We have Red Dead, we have Fallout now, we have Horizons, like we have Battlefield 5. Like I don't need another RPG when I'm going to have all the other ones. Will I get it? Will I play it? You bet your ass I will. At the same time, it might take me, like it took me, I think 3 months to finish, or 2 months, 2 or 3 months to finish Origins. When I finally like sat down and said I need to finish this, and would like jam it out.
It's a long ass game too.
Yeah, and
it's saying something. I didn't do, like, I got to a point in that game, and I stopped doing side quests because it was just too much.
Yeah,
and it was like, in the grand scheme of things, like I thought I was getting to the end. And I was like
halfway
maybe
there.
a little over halfway, and I was like, Jesus Christ.
We're
like,
at the tippy top of the mountain.
We're really only halfway up.
And
I probably sunk like 80 hours into that game.
Yeah.
And I left like a whole swath of side quests.
Yep. Yeah, it was great. It was just like, holy shit, I gotta get this done. Then we reached Sony. So Ubisoft overall, great conference. Just some awkward moments, and it's just like, all right, the dancing thing, I get it, but like we could have made it a little bit shorter.
Mm-hmm.
The bike intro from the Trials thing was just weird. I don't care about Beyond Good and Evil. Like, can we just kind of condense that down? The Joseph Gordon-Levitt thing was cool, but like we didn't need the 10 minutes of like whatever beforehand. And as much as everybody loves and doesn't like the mics being left on, for like the people were going, specifically it happened right after the Beyond Good and Evil guys went off stage. Their mics were still hot, and you could hear the female being like, "Yeah, we killed it. Yeah, good job." And I'm like, "Cool." It's a cool human moment, but like that production wise needs to be shut off.
But you think they'd have it by now? They'd have it down by now.
Yeah, like that's literally just a kill switch and it's off. Like it's not. So whatever. Overall, I mean, good conference. Probably number 2 for me, if we're being objective about it. Subjectively, it's number 2, and I've moved Microsoft to probably 3. Actually, no. Subjectively, it's probably number 3, with Microsoft being number 2, because the only thing that's really killing it for me is The Division. Like that's my game out of that conference, and Assassin's Creed. But whatever, who cares? Going to Sony. It's weird when Sony is half the length of Microsoft for things I can write down. So here we go. Sony starts off. The Last of Us Part 2. We're in a barn. We're doing a barn dance. It's a hoedown.
Church, I think, actually.
We're in church. We're doing a church dance. It's not a hoedown. Really weird place if you're in a church to have lesbians kiss. That's all I'm saying. I don't give a shit.
Probably did it on purpose.
I just think it's funny if it's a church.
Given, Naughty Dog in there.
And religion. Bar dance, they have like I don't remember if it's when they have the kiss that the memory tricks.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you see her going through this gameplay scenario of slaughtering at people. And it was like, oh my god, Paris Games Week was so violent. You ain't seen shit. You probably shouldn't play this game if you think Paris Games Week was violent.
That was so ridiculous. Did you see any of the outside
Nope.
the conference nonsense?
Nope.
Essentially, so it's going to follow 2 timelines.
Okay.
The game's going to follow 2 timelines, and they seem to be centered around that place. They had a name for it. I can't
Okay.
remember what it was. It started with a J. I want to say it was like
Jerusalem.
something or whatever.
Jackson City, Missouri.
I don't know.
The founding
Maybe.
fathers of Mormonism. Or no. The Garden of Eden, is in Jackson City, Missouri, according to Mormons, I think.
That'd be bizarre.
It would be really bizarre, but hey, the Mormon religion is really bizarre. Do, 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 do. Joseph Smith. Sorry. South Park parts are cutting in my head. Dum, 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 dum.
So it's supposed to follow 2 timelines, and you're going to hop back and forth between them, and it's supposed to be centered around, like, it's like pre an event that happens at this place and post event happening at this place. Like, the memories, or it's kind of bizarre, but the cutscene, the scenes that we're seeing where they were at the dance was actually the memories.
Oh.
And the gameplay was 2 years later, apparently,
Okay.
from what I read. So
I kind of like that a little bit better. And
Mhm.
I do enjoy there was some sweet banjo playing before this
there was.
by a guy in a hoodie.
Which apparently that was a big deal because like it was showing up on a lot of the music subreddits because apparently that guy was like some sort of
legendary banjo player.
Yeah, some artist of some kind that's a big deal. I don't know.
I believe there's also multiplayer confirmed.
Yes.
And then I, as much as I didn't care for it, it was interesting, and I know a lot of people loved the multiplayer. Like it had like a weird cult to it.
Yeah.
Gus Sorolla from the good old Rooster Teeth
Yeah.
was a big proponent of the multiplayer.
Rooster Teeth had a stint where they were pretty into it for a bit.
Boner Jam 9000. Then they do probably the worst thing they could do, and they have this great moment. You're really kicking it off with The Last of Us, and then we immediately grab the show breaks and pull them all the way back and stop the show. Stop all the momentum we could, because we need to move people from one building to another. And while we do that, we go to, Sid Schumann and Clements and
Yeah.
Sean Layden. They're all on a desk talking about some stuff. They talk about how God of War is going to be getting a new game plus mode. Okay. I would have liked DLC, but I'll start somewhere. You play God of War yet?
Nope.
Okay, cool. Dreams was doing all the transitions, which
It's not bad in there.
boy, I don't even want to shit on it. I think it's shit on itself.
It's going to turn out being a good game, and it's going to piss everyone off.
It doesn't even need to be. I don't even care if it's good or bad. I just need it to come out, or like them to show. Like I understand it's a hard game to show. Like I do know that based on what I've heard about, and as well, like what it's actually trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's more of an engine than a game,
Yeah.
but they've got to get in front of this, and they're not. They just keep tiptoeing around the idea of what it is, and it's like, no, you need to say something before the internet just runs wild with No Man's Sky problems.
They're just going to release it, I think, on PlayStation as a free game.
Oh,
for
you think
PlayStation
they'll
Plus.
shadow drop it? Will it be a shadow drop? Ninja release, people. It sounds way cooler. It also makes sense for some of your games. Then we go and talk about Black Ops. Black Ops is getting maps remastered from 1 and 2. The new Black Ops, that is going to be getting remastered maps from Black Ops 1 and 2. And they're going to be also going into Black Ops 3. And if you have PlayStation Plus currently, you can get Black Ops 3 for free if you're a Plus member for the month of June. So cool. Cool free game edition. And cool for the maps they showed. Summit. I don't think they showed Hanoi. Summit, Firing Range, a couple others. Then we talk about stuff they talked about like in their pre-show lead-up. Days Gone. They show that coming February 22nd, I believe. There's another one. Another RPG in February. Wake up, sheeple. We see Beat Saber. It's coming to VR. Matt's pumped.
I am pumped for that.
And then we talk about the Destiny
beat
deal.
my saber.
I thought you were going to use your saber to play the game. Hey, yo. Just attach a controller to it and swing it around. Then we talk about Destiny DLC, in which, spoiler alert, Cade Six is probably dead.
To throw some gas on the fire.
And throw some gas because I want to shit all over it.
Nathan Fillion is no longer following Bungie on Twitter.
Uh-oh. Internal struggle? Question mark? game needs to get rid of its characters because nobody wants to stay on that project. Am I right, Peter Dinklage? All right. Then we go back inside, and we take a look at Ghosts of Tsushima, in which a flute gets played for us beforehand.
There was an intense flute playing.
There was. It's a demo of like I think a Mongol invasion happening. I think it said Mongol invasion day 9 or something like that. The guy is running to save this monk, has to fight the person he went with, and then kill some Mongols. The Mongolians.
You're making this game sound terrible, and it looked fucking amazing.
Sorry. Honestly, you should talk about it because I don't want to make it sound terrible, but I don't have anything good to say.
You didn't think it looked good?
I think it looked all right. I think it's cinematic shots, like when you see his face and stuff and everything, looked good.
Mm-hmm.
The running through like the flower field, I didn't need because there was no real tech being shown there.
Mm-hmm.
Because like, okay, so maybe the flowers break, but it was just that one. It was one color palette the entire way across. And then the fighting for me. I wish there was a UI happening so I could see like what is being pressed. Because some of the UI stuff, I'm like, wait, is he hitting like a dodge button right there? Like, is that what that's happening? Because the first guy that like walks up to him, he just sidesteps and cuts him in half. And I'm like, is that like a scripted thing? Is that an actual like you have that counter ability? Like, I just wanted to know more about the actual controls, and I didn't get any of it. And then there's that moment, like one of the last kills he has, he's just standing there with like the sword by his side, and then he just almost slowly, it's just like, yeah, and he just cuts through the guy, and then the guy falls over. And I'm like, give me something. Like there was like no fight with anybody lasted more than maybe 2 hits.
It seemed,
and there was just I wanted combat, and I didn't get
it. I had no issue with it because, like, to me, the combat, like, it was easy for me to fill in the blanks. I feel like because it felt reminiscent of the same type of combat that was like Horizon, or like kind of like not Assassin's Creed Origin, but the
you mean Horizon Zero Dawn?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the way the combat works with like I don't know how to describe it.
Maybe I just didn't melee enough during that because I was tumbling all over the place, shooting arrows at things and freaking out during that game. I didn't ever walk up to
but it was all timing based.
I didn't walk up to the Stegosaurus and was like, yo.
It was all like timing
I don't know.
based.
By the way, I don't know if this is racist.
If you time your attack right, then you'll parry that type of stuff. Like...
Yeah, but at that point, then am I looking at like For Honor combat? Because that's what that is. That's, it's a 3-directional, where am I blocking? 4-directional, up, down, left, right. Am I trying to do it that way? That's where I wanted more information to like actually see how the system worked. Or is it like, you see, Arkham style, you see an exclamation point above somebody's head, press triangle, and you step to the side and cut them in half. And it's like, wait a second.
No, that's the thing, is I see it more of like that type of combat.
Or like old school Assassin's Creed, where it's just
hold left
Creed, trigger and wait.
Where like, if you, not necessarily that type of style, but like
if
you have good timing and, you parry at the right moment, you'll do a killing blow type thing.
Okay.
But,
I can maybe get behind it somewhat. I could probably get away with it more if it was new Assassin's Creed, because after I got away from like the shock of having to get to a new combat system, I did enjoy it.
Yeah, it was very not technical, but like if you paid attention and your timing was decent, you didn't have too much of an issue.
If you were an old Assassin's Creed, you just hold left trigger, which was your quote unquote block counter, and then you're just waiting around, and then the moment somebody attacks you, you just hit X with left trigger held down. It's like counter, dead. All right, here we go. Move over here. Oh, here comes this guy.
It would kind of make sense for a samurai game,
stab.
It like would, that type of combat. You know what I mean?
So just like anticlimactic. Like it would make sense, but then the story has to really be good.
Well, that's okay.
Because Assassin's Creed early on, I loved the story of it and whatever. But in the free running, but it was very much like you get to the combat point and it's like, oh, there's 14 guys around me. I feel no threat at all. Left trigger, wait. Oh, he punched me. And stab, and he's dead. All right, moving on. Who's next? Like, it was one-hit kills. At least if it was maybe more than one, that'd be one thing. But I don't know.
The takeaway from Sony's press conference was subjectively my favorite conference because it showed the games in a way that like I want to see them, which is all their games are story-driven games that they showed.
Yep.
And it showed you a slice of that story and everything, which is that's what I want to see. I honestly care less about gameplay. Like that's why I don't play a lot of indie games, because indie games are predominantly gameplay focused. Like, and I don't like, that interests me less. I like stories more. And like Ghost of Tsushima, or how the fuck you say it? Tsushima. It's about the first Mongol invasion of Japan, and you're actually not even on Japan, the main island. You're on a fucking small island that's right outside of Japan. But like, I don't know, the whole atmosphere of the samurai and everything like that looks fucking cool. Same thing with The Last of Us. Like, I saw a lot of people complaining that The Last of Us, you saw too much of it, and I was like, not like.
I don't think I saw too much, but when I saw their gameplay, I was like, I get it.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm looking at this one, I'm like, see,
whatever. It's funny to me because I see them as one, and their gameplay to me looks the same to me.
We'll watch it together after this, and we'll just kind of talk about it, because I don't think so, but that's not the point. So we go from that to, this is a 2-hour podcast. We go from that to Control by Remedy, which is published by 505. They're the guys that made Quantum Break. It's that weird, like the chick was floating all around and like having the ability to move stuff with her hands and shit. Looks interesting. We'll see how it actually like flushes out. Then there's a Resident Evil 2 remake. Looked great. I believe it's using the same one that the last Resident Evil, like the same engine the last Resident Evil used.
People ate that shit up, so.
Yeah, well, bunch of nerds. Trover Saves the Universe was that like weird one by I think the guys that made like the Rick and Morty VR stuff, and it's like that Blob one or whatever. The guys in the bathtub.
It was basically in universe of Rick and Morty.
Yeah, kind of. And then Kingdom Hearts showed up again, but this time it had Pirates of the Caribbean and Captain Jack Sparrow. And then I wrote Death Stranding, what the fuck? Because we see Death Stranding, giant trailer that explains some stuff and doesn't explain anything all at the same time. I don't even want to talk about it. Just go watch it.
It's a walking simulator.
Yeah, you're a postal worker, and it's a walking simulator. So picture Journey, but for the post office. I don't know if that's actually apt or not. Neo 2 gets shown. Cool that they're making a second one of that already. I feel like that is, what's that, like a year and a half? Maybe that's 2 years.
I think it's 2 years. Well, they released it, and then they released like a collection, a definitive edition or something.
Yeah, so, or they released it on a console later than a PC, or the other way around, PC later on a console.
There was something wacky going on there.
And then Spider-Man wraps up the show. Shows off its villain, shows off its like running and it's flying around. And then the end of the gameplay or trailer, Negative Man and everybody else are there. And then Peter turns around and says, You too, or something like that. So there's somebody else that shows up that he recognizes. And that's what kind of people have been speculating. Is it supposed to be Doc Ock? Is it Green Goblin? Like who shows up that Peter recognizes?
So there was something interesting in the trailer or in the gameplay.
Go for it.
Did you see how the people he was fighting, it said like it was like Fisk. I don't know if you saw that.
No.
Okay. So like there was like whatever he did, it was like an outpost or something like that, and it was like marked as being like Fisk's whatever.
Oh, okay.
So I thought that was interesting because like it could be maybe he's in the game. So
yeah,
apparently,
yeah. And then we get to Nintendo, and we're gonna get right through this one because I don't have much to say about Nintendo. Daemon X Machina. It's a mech Gundam-like craziness out in 2019.
I didn't see these first two.
Oh,
I
really?
jumped in. Yeah.
Then Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Torn of the Golden Country. I believe that's a DLC for that game. Then we get to Pokemon Let's Go stuff. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. We see some gameplay. Talk about how you can catch Pokemon together. You can play together locally. You can transfer between games. They talk about the Pokeball Plus controller that's like a Joy-Con, but it's a Pokeball. It comes with Mew inside of it when you buy it. And it's all out November 16th, both the controller and the games. Cool. I don't know if we need to see any more at this point, unless they need to like explain something. Super Mario Party coming out October 5th. Good. Cool. There's some weird ways that they like show people lining up switches to like play together and stuff. So I mean, it's some cool ways you can do a couple different games together and stuff. I'm happy there's a Mario Party coming to Switch. Mario Party is a great party game. Fire Emblem 3 Houses gets shown. I think it's the actual now true Fire Emblem game for the Switch. Or sorry, Fire Emblem 3 Houses. I should put a comma there. It's not Fire Emblem 3 Houses. It's Fire Emblem 3 Houses. I might play that game. I'm not sure. I've never played a Fire Emblem, but the way they were actually like showing that one off and kind of like having the like actual Battlefield style looked like a cool like tactical style game. Yeah. But they didn't put the word tactics in, so it might be good. Fortnite is confirmed for the Switch. And then I had to write, Sony doesn't play nice. Because I don't know if you've seen, but I assume you have.
Yeah.
If your Epic account was ever touched a PlayStation, you cannot log in to the Switch.
I don't like
your account account is then stuck between PC and PS4. It can't touch an Xbox and it can't touch Switch.
This whole like not allowing their ecosystem in with anyone else's ecosystem is going to come back to bite them in the ass like really hard.
Yep. If they don't fix it coming into new generation, they have officially boned themselves. Overcooked 2 gets shown off. A lot of cool stuff I think in Overcooked 2. I think we should probably finish Overcooked 1 and I think we should play Overcooked 2.
Yeah, one of those games that I actually like playing that one a lot. It was pretty good.
Yeah. Did you see when you were watching Overcooked 2, they like added the ability to actually throw food now?
Yeah.
So I don't have to try to like in my wheelchair like momentum throw it to you. And you can apparently throw it really far. Like actually across the map and stuff because the maps are getting crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So Overcooked 2, that's out August 7th, and they added online play. So not only can you play multiplayer locally, you can play online. That's pretty cool. Killer Queen Black. So Killer Queen does come to both the Switch and PC. It's out later this year. They didn't give a specific date. It's 4v4 instead of Killer Queen's traditional 5v5. But still cool to see that make its way over to Switch and PC. Hollow Knight is out now. Talked about that earlier. Octopath Traveler gets a little bit. It's coming out July 13th. There's a demo out now. And I'm going to run right through these because then they just hit a montage of all these games listed. If you want to find one, slow me down and then go look it up yourself because I don't really have much to say here. Starlink, Arena of Valor, which looks like a MOBA. Minecraft, Sushi Striker, Way of the Shushido, which is the one Matt's pumped about. Donkey Kong and Rabbids, Pixark, which looks like Pixel Arc, Just Dance, Dragon Ball FighterZ, Splatoon 2, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, Crash Bandicoot, Ninjala, which looks like Splatoon. Oh, is that Carcassonne?
Looks like Carcassonne.
I can't tell if it's Carcassonne or if it's supposed to be like Carcassonne. I don't know how it's actually pronounced. But the board game is coming from Asmodee or whatever, is coming to Switch. FIFA 18, which is already out, and 19 will be coming. Ark, the dinosaur game, which is coming, which is weird. They put Ark so far after Pixark because Pixark is literally Ark but pixels. It's weird. Wasteland 2 is coming. Paladins is coming. Fallout Shelter is coming. Dark Souls Remastered is coming. SNK Heroines, I have no idea what that one was, but it was there. Monster Hunter Generations or whatever is coming, not the actual Monster Hunter World. Wolfenstein 2 is still on its way. The World Ends With You for fall 2018, and Mega Man 11th for Mega Man 11 for October 2nd, and Mario Tennis comes out next week on June 22nd. So there's a lot of them. A lot of stuff going on.
Switch.
On that there.
Having a good year.
Click. I love that that's just their go-to now. It's just... Then they end on Smash Bros. I'm going to buzz through the details because if you want to go watch it, they literally spent 30 minutes on it.
Way too long.
So it's the equivalent of your Smash Bros. Direct. If you're really into it, it'll give you everything you want to know. But the Smash Bros. Ultimate, the roster reveal, and they say everyone's here. Everybody that isn't named Waluigi, he's not a fighter. I really wish he was. There's 8-player battles are back. They spent a lot of time going over how fighters will fight. Assist trophies, which are like Waluigi or apparently the Inkling girls that are something from Splatoon. There's more Pokemon, more items. They went over stages. There's Battlefield and Omega versions. They highlight some of the techniques that characters can use. All amiibo figures that are supported for fighters. Data can be transferred from other titles in. Ridley is now in the game. Good old winged dinosaur or whatever from Metroid, I believe. And the game comes out December 7th, and it does have GameCube controller compatibility.
They love their accessories.
Yep. And I think it's just cool to have that because they needed it. I don't think they needed it, but everybody loves the GameCube controller for Smash. So the only thing, that's it for the conferences. Thoughts? Good E3, bad E3, weird E3?
Weird, I guess, and it wasn't necessarily like exciting, really.
I agree. Yeah, it was a weird like, yep, cool, that was E3. All right.
Yeah, we kind of knew everything going into it.
Yep. The only thing I wrote after the E3 stuff as far as news this week is that Comcast is looking at a $65 billion purchase of Fox. So, I mean, there you go.
Oh, and
fun news.
The AT&T's buyout of Time Warner is going through as well. So, yay, more mega corporations.
Woo, Monopoly. Except you don't have a stranglehold on the board game market. Anyway. And as far as deals, all the ones I just said, and Good Old Games, GOG, Galaxy, or whatever, has a summer sale that's still going on until June 18th. So if you need any DRM-free games, go there and get them.
Fails.
So we got to take a look at some stuff, some videos, because we got to figure out some situations here between us. But that's your E3 recap. It's been a long episode. We understand. But there's everything you needed to know in E3 in a little over 2 hours. We saved you a lot of time. I guess, kind of. Not really. Maybe. I don't know. You decided that. Gamers2.com. Questions, they're on there. Everything else, you know where to find it. Listen to it. Like, rate, subscribe. Haha. It's like a YouTube thing. Bye. What's up?